Good morning, my lovelies. I have a question for you guys today. Well, I live in New England. So, I guess the question is going to be directed at people who live where it's getting colder. How many of you have already turned your heat on? Because sometimes it be so cold in the mornings. I am so tempted. But then I'm like, it's too early to put the heat on. And I just go back and forth whether I should or I shouldn't. How many of you have already turned your heats on? When do you think it's appropriate to turn your heats on? I don't know. I just think it's so early, or maybe I'm just trying to hold on to the thought of not turning the heat on because that just makes for here comes the cold weather, here comes the snow, and I don't mind the cold as much as I mind the snow. If it didn't snow, I think I'd be okay with winter. But the snow, and I know a lot of people are like, you've lived in that climate for so many years, you should be used to it by now. I, for one, am not used to it. And I've lived in New England for all of my life. And I'm not used to the cold. So I hate when they tell me that. It's just so cold in the winter. You cannot get used to it. Well, there's some people who like the cold. So I guess they could get used to it. But me personally, I am not used to the cold. I've lived here all my life. And I am not used to the cold. So yeah. How many of you have turned your heats on already? Or if you haven't, when do you turn your heats on? Every year I battle with this. When should I turn my heat on? It's too early to turn my heat on. I don't want to turn my heat on. But it's going to come to the point where I have to turn my heat on. I just don't want to, because that means here comes the real cold weather. Here comes the snow. It's over, okay? It ain't going to be warm for a couple months, okay? So yeah. How many of you have already turned your heats on? And if you haven't, when do you start turning your heats on? Is there like a specific time? Or is it just when it gets cold enough? Let me know.